Hello everyone and welcome to Rustoria Base Invaders. Today we're back with the NA tournament. This is going to be the 7v7 this weekend. Joining me is Ped once again. How are we feeling today, Ped?
I'm feeling brilliant, mate. Can't wait to get into some more story-based Invaders action. Obviously, I've been here across the last couple of weeks, seeing some amazing players being built. And maybe today we're going to see some new players coming in and getting a name for themselves. A lot more interesting things, I'm sure, will happen today. So, yeah, I'm really excited and I cannot wait to get started.
Yeah, indeed. Likewise, today it is, as I mentioned, it is a 7v7, but we are gonna have some old teams in the mix as well. The first one being, of course, Messi and Nurek, that I see right off the bat. Newbies as well. These are the teams that have performed fairly decently in the past tournaments as well, and in the past couple of weeks, we have had some amazing competition throughout the EU tournaments and the NA as well. So hopefully we get to see some more of that. But it is 7v7, so maybe a little bit less of an action because the amount of teams has been a bit reduced.
Yeah, of course, it always has an effect with however many players are playing. Obviously, we have seen a Fremantle event as well recently, so we can see week in, week out how an extra player or a couple more players helps the team, especially when you're choosing who to send to attack, who to defend. So, it also means there's more people who can help build the base and get them up quicker. And as we can see at the moment, we are seeing that white base, which looks pretty solid. They're just working on the roof defense, and then they'll be complete with their base, and that's what the pleasure of having 7 people allows you to be able to do. As long as you have that many, above 5 people, you should pretty much be sorted. So yeah, it's always helpful having a handy amount of players.
Indeed, and I think having the more amount of players also it gives you different types of strategies to work with. You can have multiple players lurking around multiple bases to find potential openings that are possibly caused by other teams as well who had tried raiding. So the lurks can be pretty huge in a 7v7 because you have just so many players to use at your disposal. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how the strategy of each team plays out in this tournament today, and I'm excited for it to begin with. Now, we're just in the attack phase, so some PvP points are already going through its newbie, Onyo and Messi, who are leading the charge with 7 and 6 points to begin with. But Capybara, alongside Fade and Messi, are already trying to raise their points in this massive PvP battle going on within a base, it seems.
Yeah, obviously, and again, great bases are made here. This is where we do see some shooting towers, some peak points as well in the bases, as we have seen in previous weeks. Players have been able to use the bases without the crawl points to just crawl up the base and hide and get in the way. But here we have Capybara, a team we do see near the top most weeks. They're obviously taking a couple of players out who managed to get into their compounds. That's not great for them. Might be some delay. Here comes the patrol heli though. Looks like it's about to take a drop. A lot of teams shooting at the moment, but it is flying further and further away from Capybara's base. It does seem to be turning back around. It'll be interesting to see where it lands.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 teams roaming around this attack helicopter. Of course, the base closest, I believe, is Fade, so they have the potential advantage. But the players of Messi and CGO are the closest. We're gonna have to wait and see how this fight goes out. Now, there's potential for a lot more PvP action to go behind the patrol helicopters crates as well. Hence, this
And we've got 2 teams obviously sat inside that base now. It does look like it is Fade. Is it Fade's base or is it Capybara's base? Interesting. There's a lot of players, nevertheless. So it is Fade's base. Capybara taking over there. There's the patrol heli landed just outside of Fade's base. But then again, there's still a lot of teams. Econom up there at the top, fighting against Capybara down below. 2 players, 3 players there. Joker, Bugo, and Ed Tripler. 3 players we are familiar with here at Rustoria. 3 players that play consistently throughout the EU and NA tournaments. Capybara's base you can see over there in the far left, the furthest one away in this bloodbath. Messi again, another team we see come back recently, especially starting to be more consistent down there in the bottom right. So this is going to be a very interesting quadruple attack when we go into the raid phase. I think it'll be interesting to see which team goes for which team first, and it might be the case of, you know, 2 teams take one base, 3 teams take one base. You never know what will happen. Maybe Messi will get taken out, or maybe Eknom. You know, that's what's interesting to see about these types of situations. Sometimes with the higher player teams like 7-mans, you don't usually tend to get a lot of teams close by because, you know, less teams are playing because there's more people in each team. So you usually find about 30 teams, which means that the bases are quite spread out, and you don't really tend to have the 4 rivalries just right next to each other. But no, what do you think? What do you think we're going to see in today in terms of the amount of bases that we have in this close proximity?
Well, I think it seems like Fade is going. The Fade's base is going to be the pressure point here because it lies right between Eknom and Messi. But again, as you mentioned, there are quite a few bases right around, built next to each other right here, including Capybaras, and there's one more as well. I believe that is CG. But Eknom, they've let most of their players let go and hunt for those helicopter crates, while one or two are still working on the top of their base, which is a smart plan, and hence another advantage of what we were talking about earlier, having more players, which allows you to work with different strategies. Now, of course, the patrol helicopter did drop in a midst of a massive chaos going on between all of these teams, but CG did have a couple of players close by. I believe that was Sony and Baku, but I do not see them anywhere now. So they probably have died. Hence, Messi are the team that have initial control of the patrol helicopter. So as soon as the fire starts to fade out, they should be able to get those points.
Yeah, it'll be interesting though. Obviously, the flames aren't out yet, so it'll be crazy to see who will try and take this one. It is right outside of Fade's base. I don't believe Blood from Messi will be able to take them all on his own, but maybe the attacking going on up the hill with Eknom will actually help them out a bit here. Maybe it'll bring some of the pressure off the fact that Blood's coming to take all the crates. But so's On God, you know, he's waiting there as well. He's hiked out. It's like a Black Friday sale. Everyone's getting the camping bags out, and they're all looking to take the crates and get the points at the end of the day. And when the fire goes, you know, it looks like Blood's got one there, and he gets killed straight as he touches one. But he did get a crate there though.
Yeah, there are some Messi players right behind Blood, not exactly close, but were providing him cover. It just wasn't enough, but man, he did manage to get one crate before he fell off. So Eknom right now still close by, but Messi, they have players lurking around, should be able to get close sooner or later. But Fade, I'm surprised that Fade have decided to not really contest these crates as much. They're just I believe they're just sitting in their base trying to steal those PvP points away and potentially work on their base as well at the same time.
Yeah, of course, you know, PvP points, especially in the Grace phase, I've always said it shows who the dominant teams are. It shows you the teams who are capable of getting themselves a very, very strong, you know, killing sprees and going on a lot of the attacks. It shows those teams are going to be the same teams in the raid phase who will also be very dominant in raiding. Not necessarily defending though, because as you know, very shot and kill heavy teams tend to go for more brute force raids than they do sitting in their base and defending. But even though we have seen in the past though, some teams who have been in the top 4, top 5 from having a very, very high KD and just defending the whole time. So, you know, it depends on what approach these teams take. Obviously, in this circle of bases that we have here, it will fall down to who raids who first, because if one team goes out and raids and then starts getting raided from another team, you know, that might have an effect here with the four bases all sat next to each other. So it'll be interesting to see the tactics that are going to be used by the players today. Obviously, a lot of familiar faces around here as well. Fade, I don't believe I've seen before, so that's one maybe for me. That's a new team. So it'll be interesting to see who can deal the damage first and what the tactics are going to be going into the raid phase.
Yeah, I'll be keeping my eyes on Capybara as well because they are one of the better performing teams among the ones that we have so far. They are a rotating contestant in the art or in these tournaments as well. But Eknom, their points are continuing to rise. Most of them have been PvP so far, but the crates are, but the crates I believe have been taken from them already. Hence, they're sitting on the 31 points. Regardless, though, the chaos right here is just not calming down anytime soon. But Fade, I think they might be a bit inexperienced. Hence their passive playstyle for the time being. They're not really going out of their way to hunt those potential kills. They only have 5 points to begin with. But look at everyone else, even CG from nowhere, are right in the middle of Kepler's base, Messi, Eknom, and Fade. They're just trying to deal as much damage as they possibly can while the rest of the teams try to fight between each other.
Yeah, and here comes the next patrol heli. It'll be interesting to see if it comes in the same place again. Bradley as well looks like he has taken the F here. He or he have taken Bradley down, looking to take some more points, take some crates. But again, I say this most of the time: the teams that tend to get the crates at the start never usually seem to be the teams that end on the top 5. That's from my
I
experience, because I do believe that at the very start, these points they're helpful, yes, but as soon as you start getting to the raiding and defending points as well, it puts you miles above the people who have taken the patrol helis at the start and taken Bradley and getting those points. It does tend to be, in the past especially, some teams who've taken, well, a hat trick of patrol helis have finished about 7th to 8th, and they haven't been able to get into the top 3, top 5 spots due to the fact that teams are better at raiding and they just want to stick to their raid, stick to getting their gear, and then they will go out and they'll raid 3 to 4 bases, and that will put them top over the people at the start who obviously did get the patrol helis and Bradley and getting the points that way.
Indeed, but sometimes some teams, they sort of proceed a bit too much in the attack phase as well, which sort of tells you the story about how their PvP style progresses across the timeline as well. Because if they're getting like 50 to 60 points in the attack phase to begin with, that says a lot about how good they are at their PvPs. Hence, it could be a potential cause of their successful lades later down the road as well. We saw a prime example of this in the last week's NA tournament where I'm not I can't recall who the team was, but they did about 60 points in the attack phase and went on to become the first team who managed to get 300 points in the raid phase as well. Sadly, though, they definitely became the target because of their lead, hence got
And we are now, I do believe we just had a bit of lag in there. But now we are here, idle. I'm Bunny, sat behind that little wall there, not taking any prisoners at the moment. He's just going for a nice little walk through the woods, taking a nice scenic route. Don't really know where he's aiming to go. Maybe he's going to have. Oh, there we go. He's going to have a look at biggest Yogi Bro, Big Poppy. Two names we are very familiar with here as well. And they look like there's two bases right on the doorstep of each other. That is definitely going to be an interesting beginning to the raid phase for both of them. Although it does seem like BM haven't managed to get a lot of their base up yet. Could be concerning for them. They are running a castle at the moment, all stone and a slight bit of wood. Doesn't seem to be any reinforced metal or any of that jazz, so it could be critical for them if they don't get to work soon.
they a player of newbies already on an eight streak. Hence the score at the top is pretty close. Eknom sitting at 35, A sitting on 32, newbies at 30. So it's pretty close. But biggest, they're getting deep into newbies base right here, but and trying to gain as much knowledge about the base from within as they possibly can. And we see this a lot from teams as well, trying to get the deeper that they possibly can into bases and clear out as many locations as they can before the raid phase begins. Hence, they have sort of an idea about where they need to go as soon as the raid phase begins in order to potentially get the DC quicker.
Yeah, of course. And so far for this base, there is no door. There's no doors. There's no beds. No crates. Oh, some doors. We found some doors. And it's because biggest are just packed up inside the base, not having any problems, getting kills in left, right, and centre. And it's good stuff to see. Another kill coming out. BM this time being the killer on AP, who seems to be causing them some problems. It's good to see he's finally got a slight bit of his own back. So interesting stuff to see for these guys at the moment.
Potentially, this likely is going to be an early raid from biggest onto BM or newbies. I'm not quite sure whose base it is. I believe it is newbies, but there are like three teams looking around. One is, of course, going to be the defender. So if you have two teams going within your base, that is going to be pretty dangerous as soon as the raid phase begins, and it is with BM space indeed. So newbies and biggest, they're gonna have their eyes on that DC locked in as soon as the last 15 minutes stick down and we head into the raid phase.
Yeah, it's a very concerning. Here comes Yogi onto the roof. Probably going to go back through the top again, I'd assume. Yeah, he still has a free entry into the base. Still a very bare base, no doors. Oh, with some shots coming in, and it's BM who take the fall this time. Now Biggest, they're going to try and infiltrate the base even further. Look for an easy 40 points as soon as the raid phase begins. 14 minutes and 30 seconds until that happens, so they have a bit of time, BM here, to bring it back. And considering, oh, here we go, 2 doors, come on! Reaching a goal now, we've got 2 up, garage doors there. He needs to get only about 10 more of them up before they can call it safe, and then they've got to reinforce all their base. 14 minutes, they've left it a bit late here.
Yeah, unless they've already given away the knowledge to newbies and biggest, so they can just try to raid this from underneath as well, which could be a faster route for them because they're already been made aware of where the TC lies, and BM putting the doors is just probably gonna confirm their doubts as well. Hence, they've sort of stabbed them in the back themselves in the back as well. So gonna be interesting to see how this one goes, but I'm not sure what Cobra is doing. Is he just teabagging?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Obviously, the toxicity loves to be carried over into the game. Gotta troll some teammates. Obviously, one video there was some swearing going on, so it's always funny to see how the players want to interact with each other. So it's brilliant to see. Shooting coming though, back and forth here at the garage. He getting involved with some shots at newbies and BM, who are all having the fun there in the base. So it should be interesting to see what happens here. Maybe he will try and come in and steal this raid straight off the bat, but you don't know what's going to happen, and it could take quite a while.
And quite a few players of newbies are actually popping off. We just saw 2 of them are already on kill streaks, hence explaining their sudden rise on the leaderboard with 49 points to begin with. I'm not sure they got the second helicopter. I'm not sure who got the second patrol helicopter. So whoever did definitely got some extra points. But I think okay. Is this the second one, or are we still looking around the first? Okay, so the second one surprisingly dropped around the same area as well, but this time it was a bit closer to Messi's base, and they have total control over it. Unlike Fade, who had just completely let Econom take over it, Messi have actually left their base. 2 of them are just overlooking their.
Yeah. I mean, it was actually Faye who took it down, but they just couldn't take it down close enough to the base. Econom, though, trying to get themselves in there as well, shooting some shots at Messi. Messi's shooting them back. There's a lot more players in Messi than the one from Econom, but here comes Sosa to back him up, give him some more strength. Strength in numbers, as they say. They are pushing it on now. 10 minutes left in the attack phase, though. All these bases around this, as I said, circle of bases that we have here, they're all pretty well built. Some very strong players. These are probably going to be some of the powerhouses right here of this event. Some of the top 10 teams are going to be created from these 4 bases, 4 sets of players here. Because we've seen them in the past perform, and I have no doubts that they will also perform well here today again. So yeah, I'm still very much open eyes to see which team will make the advancements further forward first. But I am very excited to go into the raid phase.
Indeed, and now the clock is still ticking down. We only have 10 minutes before the attack phase comes to an end and the raid phase begins. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But if you had to bet on one team, who would you pick to win it all or make it into the top 3 at the very least?
Top 3 out of these. Okay, so I'm looking at the earlier EU event, and the only one I can see on the board out of these 4 teams, I believe, is Messi. I don't know if any of the others competed, but Messi were the one that kept on the board. But they did not finish in the top 3. They were 8th, so it's an interesting one, and they were quite far away. They were 120 odd points away. So I would say, from past experience, I would expect Capybara to be in the top 3. 100%. Capybara are a team that I've seen consistently get those top 3 spots, perform the best, and they are ruthless. They are absolutely ruthless with their raids and their attacks. They do not like to give any mercy, show any remorse to the teammates. So maybe Capybara can pull it in the NA one and get top 3. That's what I would be expecting, and I'd put my bets on them.
Likewise, Capybara was going to be my pick, but since you've gone with them, I might as well just go ahead and say Biggest because I think Biggest is also one of the teams that have performed decently well in prior tournaments, and hence I have some expectations of them. They might not perform as well as Capybara, but upsets can always happen, and I think they definitely have the potential to do so.
Yeah, and it's great. It's good to see. Obviously the base is looking exceptionally well at the moment. No problems to be found just yet. Messi having a nice time on the roof there. The roof defense pretty standard. What we see usually coming out of them. They've got the peak points there. They've got the nice shoot downs. I think on the corners might be a bit of an issue if they don't get the shoot downs a bit closer. Maybe someone will build up on the sides and they will be able to get a shot. But that's for them to work out. That's for them to problem solve. A lot of problem solving is needed in Rustoria Base Invaders. A lot of interesting things happen. Some stupid, some absolutely insane masterclass work happening. But Messi taking I think 2 sets of points so far, so not bad at all.
Indeed. Well, this fight has been going on for so long, and it probably will not end until one or two bases actually go down in the raid phase among these four. So I'm gonna have to wait and see how this one goes out. But Fate, I'm surprised they're still just sitting in their base. Every single player of Capybara, Messi, and Eknom has put at least a foot out to try and gain.
I mean, the shots were coming in. Eknom's base, it looks quite messy from the top, but I'm sure they have an idea behind it. Even though it's very not symmetrical and does hurt my eyes and OCD to look at that base, but I hope it works well for them. BG there going in with some heavy shots. He did seem to get absolutely blitzed himself though. He did end up getting a heal off there. CG though behind him, Sony. Maybe that's going to be a little battle now. Here's BG. Going to shoot down Sony, it seems. Sony, yep, it does end up in Sony's death. I think it was BG who got the killer. It might have been one of the people down below. But this is a very nice scenic view of the battles we are seeing. Obviously, it looks like 4 teams are involved with the shooting here. As there's shooting over on the far side, the far 2 bases, and there's shooting down here with these 2 bases that we see directly in front of us. So again, these teams are obviously going for each other's blood, battling for the top spots, and it'll be interesting to see if they will, take it well, take all the points, and get the early raids.
Well, the third helicopter did drop, and this time it's going to be SV that put the final shot, and it seems like there's no one goes by, and there's 5 players of SV present here. They are definitely fighting someone, and Capybara's Joker is coming around on the Jeep as well. Hence, there's definitely some interest into the third attack helicopter. Capybara, they didn't manage to get the prior 2 ones, but this time around, Joker is taking the lead in order to try and gain some points for his team. Of course, SV, they've actually put on an all-team assault here. All 7 of them have left their base, but since it's the attack phase, it kind of makes sense. You don't really need anyone to defend.
You don't need anyone to defend, that is true, especially in the attack phase. Obviously though, some teams do go out all 7, even in the raid phase. Oh, Capybara Joker coming in there. Oh, he's coming in for a little steal here. 1 versus 7. Interesting approach from Joker. Still sat in his little minivan. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to pull off here though. Suicide might be the simple answer, but if he can do it, props to him. And it does seem like SV are looking at him and not doing anything. Oh, never mind. Never mind. They have.
He's still not dead. He's still alive. Can they see him inside? Okay, now they definitely know. a player just quickly popped in and cleared that kill out, and hence Joker has died. Capybara, the little present that they did have, has already been taken away from them. But that white though, they are also all out against this battle or against SV for these crates to potentially put them on the board a bit more higher as the attack phase comes to a conclusion in its final 5 minutes.
Yeah, we did just see him getting taken away. Interesting approach from Joker. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to accomplish. He did just come over and pop one completely. You know what? It gives us a clip, gives us a highlight. It definitely gives us something to show. Okay, look at Joker being an idiot. And everyone can laugh at it. But SV now having trouble from that white who are pushing in. And that white are a team we've seen previously before, providing some fun and excitement for you Rust lovers out there, getting themselves some kills, getting themselves some... Oh, and there you go, there's one there, as SV is taken out primarily, completely, but Poppy, again, kills are getting traded. That white have lost 2, SV so far 1, 2 now, as Vac falls as well. That white also coming for a flank behind them as well there, and they have managed to get behind the truck that the previous Joker, the famous Joker, was once a part of and in. So that's very interesting. They look like they're going to try and take the crates now. They are holding it off very, very well.
They have pushed the SV players quite a bit back, but both of the that white players end up falling. But there's one white between them. He's managed to take 2, but eventually will get traded. Now that leaves only Skyfall, I believe, all by himself to fight off SV. They have 5 players still alive for this. Actually, he's knocked down, so that white is done for the time being. There is Lady present all the way in the back, but I am not sure if they'll be able to do much as SV they start to collect those crates, and with the 3 minutes on the clock, they get on the 17th rank just yet, but as soon as they're done getting all of those crates, they will of course be a bit more higher, and by max, I think they'll be able to stay at 16 for the time.
Yeah. And I mean, the best part about it is SV, despite the push off Joker, despite the push off that white, they're just sort of sat there waiting for the fire to go away so they can take the points. And there's still some fire left in the mix. And SV, they've taken down one player there. Boy RB as well, he's gone down. Lady taking the fall as well. Now it's only one member from that white, just sat there against 6 or 7 of SV, which is not a great sight to see, but miracles can happen. But here's Sky Falls. He does look like he's going to play a retreat as Vac does look to flank him here. It's going to be interesting. Sky Falls. He's coming right. He's coming right there.
I thought Lady was gonna try and kill him, but at least they valued themselves as a bait. But all players of that white actually get taken out by pros alongside his duo right there. That white, Leisha never enough alongside shoot and like they still have some presence, but SV they're just constantly getting those kills. One kill does go the way of that white. I'm surprised they still managed to stay alive, especially around those beds of SV. But eventually, both of them will fall as well, and that leaves us with 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock for the attack phase. And as soon as that ticks down, I'm expecting a couple of TCs to go down as well, especially the one that we were looking at initially, which was BM going against Biggest and Newbies. They had the idea of exactly where the TC was. They just need to breach through a few walls, and they should be good to go for that one.
Yeah, they should be. They should be. 50 seconds. It's always an exciting phase going into the raid phase. Always exciting to see who lays off the boom the fastest. Well, here we have Alt, and their roof is... Yeah, their roof is... Yeah, it's there. It's just not very good. No real roof defense. No defense is there, so someone can come and fly over and have a free ride onto their base, as they have not got any, they've not got any shooting towers or shooting floor. They've just simply got, although they do have a shooting floor, they just don't have any roof defense. Interesting approach. They just have a nice little hole on the roof, which I assume they're going to put a door on.
They did build a few walls around it, but I'm surprised they have no defense mechanism as well, such as turrets lying around either. So anyone with a helicopter could go down, and the raid phase has hence begun. Now rockets already, starting to pour down onto all space here. They should be one of the first ones to go down as more and more players start to make their way in. There was only one player that was far above. He gets taken out as well, and now there's a flank coming in that's going to be Cough Cough trying to steal this TC away from I.
Yeah, this is obviously a very undercooked base. They've only managed to get part of it, the shooting floor that is as well. They've only managed to get that part metalled up. Obviously some C4s coming in now to take down the wall. They're not going to use as much boom, obviously, due to the base being a castle rather than a full metal structure. Meaning that if it is low down the TC, which the highest possibility would be it is, they'll be able to get it quite easily. But Boom Shot, though, is come behind. He's taking some shots there at good old Zito, who's now taking a little breather down the hole. And him and his teammate both going to try and progress into this base and hopefully get themselves a TC. That's what they're looking for anyway. As they're blowing now into the main core of the base, they're about to meet one of the alt players, a name I do not want to pronounce with this English accent. But we'll be interested to see who takes it.
Indeed. Oh, a one-on-one trade goes down. Both of their players did get knocked out, but one thing I'm surprised about is Onyo is actually just looking from this afar and trying to shoot down some players. Maybe because Koff is keeping them at bay, possibly, but they did put quite a few bullets into a couple of players of Koff there while they were C4ing that wall now. They could be a potential third contender for this TC right here, but it seems like the base might just get raided a bit too early for them to get involved into this one because IE and Cough they're trying to make more and more progress into this castle.
Just rocketed their own ladders. Interesting stuff. But Ohio, that down there, taking more pot shots at this base. Still, those TC found. I mean, although it is made out of stone, it has got a lot of rooms, a lot of doors to be searched. Another deal or no deal style base, as I like to call them. Anyone who's watched me before will hear me say that phrase quite often. It is deal or no deal, and you've got to find the right box. But here comes another C4 blowing down this garage door here. The doors now starting to appear, left, right, and centre, but no TC to be found yet. Luckily, Alt haven't made the mistake of putting doors with windows. None of that trouble can go through, but there's still a lot of places that they could have hit it, but it does look like they will be one of the first bases to go.
Well, they're still keeping on, and surprisingly, on the other hand, BM, they've held on the other fight as well. BM Waswino, or however you pronounce that name as well, as on an 8 spree, so but they're definitely putting up a good defense for the time being at the very least. And I believe I saw a couple of players of Nerik close by as well, so if that is the case, then this could turn very deadly.
Yeah. Has been. Jamesy, a player we see very often. I do believe he won the earlier event. He was in the winning team anyway, I think. So, finally got himself that win. I've been watching him for ages. I've been watching his absolute skill. Kiss his arse a bit here. He has been playing exceptionally well the past couple of weeks. Caught my eye. And Purple as well, another player we see very often, hitting nice kills. And base is starting to fly down here. As Boom is coming into the corner, especially looking to take down the corner. Maybe go cutting all the way through. But Cough are here to say, hang on a minute, get off our base. And they are sat there. BM was eliminated.
We called it earlier on, there was just already too much information given away from their base that either newbies or biggest were gonna eventually take it, and biggest were the ones that take this one to begin with. But still, though, surprisingly, they haven't become the team that has become the number one yet. It's Eknom with 107 points. I'm not sure if they've managed to take in. They haven't managed to take in any TC yet, so Maybe they change that sooner or later, but they've definitely kept on, and IE is right behind biggest as well. And if they manage to get the DC off of Alt, then they will definitely be putting up a good fight and dethroning Eknom on the #1 spot.
Yeah. I mean, #1 spot is always the most amazing thing to see. Eknom, though, they're there at the moment. Biggest sat in second. These are the early raids, obviously, that came to play. But now, this base looks like it's Onyo's. Is a bit of an Ono situation as the walls are starting to crumble down. And AO, the base is getting taken down with much mightier newbies are coming here. They would go top, actually, if they take this base, and with the kills involved with it too. Would be good for them. And obviously the horse race starts now, the Grand National starts now, with the people looking to race up their points. So it's always interesting to see, and sometimes it will come down to the last 10 minutes of the race phase to actually determine who the winner may be, whether it's on kills or, you know, a final raid in the last 10 minutes, which will determine the winners. So it'll be interesting to see how this one will play out.
They cough off, though they have been forced to back off and defend their base against newbies and Onyo, while I continue their offense onto Alt. But Onyo, they're actually deep within this base, and Kafka, they're in deep troubles right now. They're trying to potentially flank this one and trying to hold the other rest of the players off, but Onyo, they're just too deep within, and Kafka, they're in deep troubles right now. Wait,
Yep.
is this Onyo's base or Kafka? Okay.
Yep. The bombs are coming in. Sat on there. A lot of fireworks coming in from top it seems. And Onyo are having a bit of trouble defending. Newbies as well coming in on the other side. And this base has been opened up like a tin of beans. It's got not much left inside of it to say, oh, the TC is going to be here. And the TC mustn't be far off now. That's a bit of a waste of a C4. You already knew the answer to that question. But, you know, this base does seem like one that has only little time left, considering it is basically just a skeleton structure at the moment, and you can see everything inside of it, and it's going to turn into even more of a clusterfuck as we move even further on.
I'll come back there later, but there seems to be a fight between he and Lawrence going on as well, with a few players of Lawrence deep within the base right now. There is a one-on-one trade that goes down within the base, but still a couple of players of Lawrence still lurking around, getting some kills and potentially exploring more. As Arden from Lawrence is on an 8 spree. Sort of unstoppable and quite dangerous as well if you're going on a spree deep within someone's base. You're allowing your teammates to catch up to you as well, and hence have a lot more backup to work with if you're just being a nuisance from within to the other team.
Yeah, of course. And here we have CG. They're nice and tight in their base. Capybara looks like they were pushing onto CG's base, but it looks like it's calmed down now. Over here, though, Messi taking a... Oh, no, Messi sending a beating here into Fade. And, oh, they're in, and they're going straight through the middle, as it seems. They're taking it from the corner and going straight through. Nice clean chop there. Tower is taken by Eknom, who've just taken 2 kills as well. Incredible stuff from them.
Well, Faye did enjoy the company of their base. They didn't stay within it for the most period of the attack phase, but right now, well, they can't really do too much, it seems. Eknom, they're just punishing them as each fight goes down, every engagement. Fade is coming out on the shorter end, and Eknom, they should be able to close this one out sooner or later. It seems like there is no contest for Eknom onto the space just yet, but there were quite a few bases lurking around, including Messi and Capybara, so we might potentially see a late offense from their side as well.
Yeah, we might do. Eknom might try and steal this one as it came more. They might just say, okay, Messi, you can do all the work. We're going to come in and say, thank you very much. Take the TC, that's what we've seen happen in the past. There's another very high rocket, which doesn't seem to have landed anywhere interesting, but the ones in the middle are interesting. Maybe the TC is in the middle, maybe that's where they're aiming for. At the moment, though, there is a lot of deal or no deal style doors on the outside, and Blood now having a little peek in, seeing what's going on. Very nice style doors as well, I must add.
Well, Eknom, they're trying to fight off the rest of the players as well that are shooting down, but they're already deep within. There are quite a few doors still to go through, but it's only a matter of time before either Eknom or Messi make their way through. Messi is sort of making this one easier for Eknom as well, unless a rocket directly connects onto the DC. Messi, they need to step into the base and actually contest this with Eknom. They can't just stay far away, continuously deal damage onto the walls, and hope that they manage to get the DC from away as well.
More boom coming in from now. It looks like Eknom. Oh no, it's Messi actually. And Eknom are pushing over to Messi to stop them from taking it, from shooting anymore. Oh, and 2 kills from Eknom again. Oh my word, Eknom are absolutely critical in the shooting. 2 kills again. Eknom also wiping out 2 players inside the base from Fade, and now Messi are getting absolutely roundhoused here. Every player nearly dying. On God eventually removed out of the equation though. Blood, I do believe, was the one to break the curse, and now Sosa follows Insane pursuit. Messi though nearly cleared out there of the dominance that they had. Gives time for Fade to do some repairs there, as their base is looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment. There's not a lot left to see. Doors getting closed right in our face there to stop us from having an insight on what's going on. But you know, that base is looking a bit spilled at the moment, but again, it's a later job. It doesn't seem like it's going to be happening anytime soon, so we'll move up north, see what's going on up here. That white seems to be on the raid, getting raided. So
Yeah, I think SW was on the raid against that white, but that white, they've put up a good defense for the time being, it seems. All of the players of SW have been pushed back that white. They've held on quite nicely. Hence, we're going to move on to the battle, onto the long-going battle between Alt and IE. It is a bit surprising because all did seem like they had somewhat of a weaker base, but i.e., it seems they just haven't found enough room to work with. They do still have a couple of players within the base, but they just haven't done enough to found DC and Nurik. They're finally starting to show some interest into this as well, as the rocket launchers start to rain down and the walls will get broken, eventually allowing them to potentially contest this with IE and take the DC away.
indeed, more shots, though, more boom. The sound of boom is my ringtone. And a player there having a little dangle. But Alt are here, A are here, and this base is still somehow here. This has been going since the very start, as we've seen, and now maybe they're thinking it's in the middle. They are shooting at that armoured door there, trying to take it out from there. Nuric are now involved as well. And Nuric, a team we've seen dominate quite a lot. They are a team that prove themselves as well, often. Another strong team. It's a very scary sight to have outside your doorstep when Nuric are coming and shooting a lot of boom at you. So, got to be careful there. But I'm sure their base will be falling soon. Nuric did come second as well in the EU event. So, another strong team looking to get a win now in this one.
Well, we've only seen one DC go down so far, but Eknom, they've held on to their #1 lead. Biggest right behind them, and IE follow them as well with 127. Biggest standing on 135, and Eknom on 146. Any of the next DCs for these 3 teams could really put up a big difference on the scoreboard, because they're just in the margin of 15 points of each other.
Yeah. I mean, shots are still coming in. They are flying right through the middle of the base, trying to open it up a bit more. Maybe they don't want to go through all the doors. They'd rather just take it out slowly. But it is Nuric taking the shots, and it does seem like it is. Is it Alt base? I do believe.
It is.
and it seems like A are defending Alt's base because they want to take the points. So it's an interesting little circle we have here as A are defending the base against Yorick because they want it for themselves. Although, if they were wise and smart about it, they would try and leave it as long as they can until the base is as opened up as possible, and then take out Yorick and take the 3 points and get the steal that way. But all each to their own. However they want to do it, that's on them. I'm just giving advice.
That could have potentially been a gamble for them as well, because if Nurik managed to find the TC at the edge of a wall, which they were dropping the boom onto, then they could have just taken it right there and then. So I think they are playing this a bit more smartly, but of course, having some extra help doesn't always feel bad. But they're already deep within. The C4 is going to open some garage doors as well, and allowing them to explore further into this one. And I think they're starting to reach their final few moments in this tournament here.
Yeah, it is. It is the final few. I must say, I'm loving every single second of it. This base is done and dusted nearly, but they've hidden the TC well, and they've still not found it. A though still clearing out Noric players, or at least attempting to, but Boom still seems to be coming in, so they're not doing a very good job. It does seem like they're just going to be waiting for the firework display to finish and TC to be open out there before they will take the TC in the end though. But they are getting a few more C4s on the bottom doors here. Maybe the TC to be found behind one of them, although it would be an interesting place to place the TC. It does seem like these doors are opened up. There's two still to open down there. Yorick again though. Oh no, maybe that's a C4. Yorick still not to fire anymore for now. I don't know if they've came off it a slight bit. Alt taking a little peek out and a quick run away as well. Seconds later, C4 coming on every door now. No doors to be found. And no TC to be found behind any of these doors. And no TC to be found there either. It doesn't look like there's much else place to look now for this TC. Most of the base has been explored and opened up. At least all the doors, it seems, on... That's two of the sides. There's only one double door left there, possibly behind there, although it does seem odd to put it behind the double door. Usually it is just behind the single in one of the corners parts. But, it does seem like it's one of the only two places left, the double door there as well. Oh, I think the double door's just been taken away. Leads to nothing. We can see that there now. And it does seem like it might be higher up, possibly in one of the leftover doors that haven't been taken. Here's one for a great example. Brilliant observer way. The one door there that seems to be standing at this base of removed doors. I think that actually might be one of the last ones in the entire base, to be honest with you. Around the sides, there doesn't seem to be any others hanging about, so maybe they've just forgot it, maybe they haven't seen it. Who knows?
Yes, indeed, and I think Nurik is trying to reinvest a bit more into this fight as well. They have some quite a few players close by and some within as well. They're trying to counter A directly as well. They've pushed onto their side, trying to set up a flank onto the base as well, while trying to cut off A's constant push towards all space. But they're too deep. A is too deep within, and Nurik, they have found some presence in the base as well, but we're gonna have to wait and see. It's just a matter of who gets there first at this point, who finds it, the DC first, because it seems like all are completely done for here. They just have no response to the constant pressure being put on them by Nurik and IE.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest with you, they're just hanging on now. Possibly the TC could be in the core, but they are, they're fighting off. Choice for Tika, it seems they're getting the kill. Again, that one door is really annoying me. I want someone to take that one door out just to show to me that it's not there or it is there, because this could be the door that makes the difference. But I'd be surprised if they haven't seen that door. I'd be surprised.
Don't peek into it. Don't do it. We might have some stream snipers looking around. We can't really risk it, but we might not even get to the point where a stream sniper might have to check the stream to find the DC, because the base is just too destroyed at this point. You mentioned it earlier. It basically looks like an empty structure at this point, with a couple of players just running in, trying to get kills, but still the DC is really nicely hidden. You have to give props to Alt for that. It's been so long. It's been 20 minutes into the raid phase, and Alt have been absolutely getting demolished in terms of PvP battles within their own base. But the TC is nowhere to be found just yet.
And not a lot of teams have gone down yet. Not a lot of TCs taken. I must say, that there with 160 points, most of them, if not all, from kills. I don't remember getting a raid, but it seems likely that they did early doors. But that's the one. We're probably gonna go now, and it will be raided. It's usually the way it goes. The raid happened here though.
SV, they still surprisingly had some presence around that white space, but finally they haven't completely denied their setup destroyed as well. Hence that way they're clear of the damage and should be able to raid someone if they want to later down the line. But this is another battle that has been going on for quite a few minutes. It's Eknom going up against Fade, and Messi was also somewhat involved earlier on, but it seems like they have been kept at bay successfully by Eknom. Messi are just taking some rockets, rocket launchers in from afar, but have so far no presence within the base.
Yeah, man. Indeed. Shots still coming in though. Boom still flying. And it's still in a very open base. Eknom though, team inside it, and not Messi. Messi will be quite annoyed about that one. But it gives Messi, maybe Messi are gonna go for Eknom now. Eknom are down in Messi's raid, so it could be an interesting display in the next 5 to 15 minutes, depending on what happens and who goes for who. But this base seems like a devil to try and find the TC in.
Now have to wait and see how that one goes, but quite a lot of doors being broken and rockets still pouring in from the inside. No hint of the DC just yet though, but Fade, I see no immediate resistance from their side. Their resilience is just completely absent right here. Eknom, and Alt finally has been taken away from IE. Was it the same door though? That's what I need to see.
Yeah, I wonder. Is it? No, it wasn't on the door. It wasn't that door. There was a little box in that door though. What? It was that
It
door.
was?
How's that happen then?
How did they get the DC then?
They opened the door. Oh, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I said that. The one door. It was the one door that they'd left. Everyone had ignored it, and finally someone took initiative to get rid of that one door. I said it was that door as well.
Might as well might as well call you a psychic at this point. Okay, you need to tell me then when exactly is the next TC going down? We have seen the fight of Fade against newbies. Actually, newbies and versus Kof going on for a long while alongside Onoi, who have been on the edge of elimination because their base, to be very honest, is quite similar to what we saw from Allspace against IE. So it's been demolished quite a lot, but no TC just yet.
Yeah. No TC. But again, I'm saying it's gonna strike at about 35 minutes left in the raid phase. That's when the TC's gonna be taken. No, I'm only joking. It does seem like this base is about to be dead and buried. A lot of bombs going off, a lot of boom happening, a lot of grenades, shots, gunpowder, explosions, noise. Kof are making a racket at the moment. They aren't going very nicely either. Here comes James. He's won one event. Why not two? Get the second of the day. Always good to have in your pocket. Obviously, it is a very wealthy tournament if you can get two of them in a day. So, good luck to him. It'll be interesting.
No TC there just yet, but so this raid it seems like it is pretty much done and dusted as well. Quite some similar stance that we saw earlier on against Alt, but Fade is the third team actually to get eliminated here by Eknom, which ensures that Eknom stay in the lead. IE did take them down temporarily after taking Alt's TC, but Eknom they answer right back as Fade gets eliminated.
Yep. Fade a team again. We've seen them under heavy fire. We've seen them under, well, heavy fire from two teams, really. Eknom, obviously, as they're here right now. And also, it was Messi at the start who put the big hole in their wall. And then Eknom said, no, thank you. This is where we are. We'll take it. We are going to steal this from you, and we will have this forever in our hearts. And that's what happened there. But it's interesting indeed to see.
Well, here we got CG going up against Capybara to defend themselves. Capybara now, a very well reputed team, I must say. They have been one of the better raiders in our prior tournaments as well. So I'm surprised they haven't managed to deal too much damage onto this base just yet. But maybe the raid did start very recently, so we're gonna have to wait and see how this one goes. But props to CG, they have ensured that no one from Capybara gets within the base, at least for the time being. They have a lot of presence at the top of the base, ensuring that nobody's ladder missions get successful. And from beneath, of course, you have the doors holding them down. So Capybara, they haven't slowed down for the time being, but I think they will try to keep pressuring CG onto some exposure into their base.
Yeah. And, you know, teams did fall a little bit fast there, so we've now got 3 teams down. 19 teams in the event. So, well, 19 teams began in the event, now only 16 remain. It probably looks like a 10 team job at the end, maybe below. I wouldn't see any more being in it because, you know, it'll start to clear off. Here's a very close 3 bases as well. Topkop, Onyo, and Newbies, it seems. Onyo still going strong, although, well, their base isn't. I'm not sure what's left to search inside that, to be honest.
Well, there are still quite a few doors that need to go, that newbies and Koff need to go through before they can potentially find the TC, but the fights are continuing. Both of these teams have a lot of players present inside of the base of Onyo, which is only going to make things worse for Onyo, but they're fighting each other more than they're fighting Onyo, so potentially a good news. They can Onyo can take advantage of that, but they
The excitement has taken inflict off from us to the gods. But I must say, you know, the doors are flying down here. More boom is coming in. Here comes a C4. It's not behind that door, though. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep bombing. And eventually it will come clean where it is. But at the moment, we are not in familiar territory. But bombs are flying. Shots are coming in. The door looks like it's going to be falling. But I'm not quite sure when. More booms coming in. Oh no! Eliminated by Koff. But where was it? I wonder, as we now have another team down, we were present at the raid, but we weren't present at the TC. We were just there. You know, been there, got the t-shirt, not got the TC on camera. But at least we were there. You know, we were close. But I wonder where it was. It does seem like it's maybe they've already looted it. Maybe it's already gone. Oh, that's an interesting one. One of those undiscovered crimes, unsolved mysteries. Must be down below, down there, as shown by camera. But there you go, Onyo taking a fall, and that'll be newbies against Koff, it seems, the 2 teams who were flanking into that base. So interesting indeed. It's going to be fun. Going to be very fun to watch.
well, that might be a BuzzFeed episode later down the line for unsolved mysteries. So maybe that gets investigated a bit more about where the TC actually was. We, of course, didn't find it immediately. But biggest, one of the better contenders in this tournament so far, is trying their raid onto GG as well. The base is looking a bit mediocre. It's not too good looking from the outside in as well, but it seems like it can hold off. But biggest, behind those walls, they start to get closer. One player does fall, but the rocket launchers are starting to get put to use, and hence some walls already being taken down.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, again, this is an interesting looking attack. come on the heli, got the base down fast, and now GG are getting boom sent at their base. Biggest with this raid will catch up. They will go third, but they still need a lot of more points. They still need another raid to get into that top spot. They are quite far away at the moment. They would need, 2 raids and 30 kills around about to get up to where they need to be. So, I think it actually is 2 raids and 30 kills perfectly. My maths is spot on. Brilliant. Yeah, that's what they need. Exactly what they need to get to that top spot. Obviously, Eknom, I would not doubt would get more kills in this process. So that would put them higher as well again. But this is definitely a start to an upthrust from them. And now they've taken down part of the CG base. They're taking down the compound now. Mongon is down there. Good old Mongon. Mongol, actually. Mongol. So he's sat down there by his base. Just completely ignored the fact that Yogi's there. He's run out the door. I don't know how no one spotted him, to be quite honest. And now he's just going to hide. Oh, never mind. Oh, Mongol's still there. No, never mind. See you later, Mongol. I think he was trying to run away, to be perfectly honest. Seemed to have, open the door. All right, guys, sorry, I'm off. See you later. Go in the pub. There you go. But now the base is getting hit again. More shots coming in. Looks like Yogi's in the triangle down there. Oh,
yeah.
that's his. Yogi is stuck.
How did he get there? I don't see any ladders around, so that's gonna be another. Ah, there. Okay, there is. So, well, now that he is stuck there, might as well just find. He is in the safety of those 3 walls, so just trying to take down as many walls as possibly can from within before exiting the safety of these walls as well. But biggest, slowly but surely, they're making progress onto their base. Moron again outside, but won't be able to do much once again. Now he has finally realized that he needs to help his teammates to actually keep biggest off, and he can't just really roam around the map. Maybe someday in your off time you can do that, but not today.
Yeah. Did I just hear you call Mongol moron then?
I
I mean, he was a moron. He didn't just come out the door and get himself killed, but yeah, moron.
I didn't suspect that you'd call me out like that.
Well, I don't blame you. He did pull out a moron act, but there you go. Shots coming in still. It does look like Biggest might be taking this one. It doesn't seem like the GG defense is particularly great. Was that someone just send a rocket out the window? Seems like CG are defending, fighting fire with fire there, sending more rockets back the other way. Interesting tactic, although hasn't worked just yet.
Are you going to set up a wider fight and will be able to actually win it? But there's still a couple of players close by taking a trade. Now Shigaraki is only down to 9 HP for the time being. The heals are eventually going to come in, and he's just running away. Running away. Mario knows the plumber behind.
Again, the excitement has taken our dear friend. Shots coming in left, right, and centre. There you go. Biggest get another kill, and then Biggest was eliminated by Idol. Oh no! Well, that was great. They sent their whole team, and they got taken out. That was amazing. And that means that the safety now falls with GG. After having that short little scare there, someone went and popped Biggest whilst they were away. And there you go. So, excellent stuff.
Wow. I actually did not expect that to happen that quickly as well, because it seems like they weren't really too much worried about it, because they have most of their players still lurking around GG's base. But GG, that's a massive sigh of relief for them. They can rebuild the base here and start to work on raiding once again. Right now they sit at the very bottom of the scoreboard with only 20 points. I'm not sure what their plan is, but with only 55 minutes to go in the raid phase, they better start acting soon. Well, are they already engaged in the fight, it seems? Or are they just trying to leave? they're just quickly taking out the beds, and then they should be good to go. We're gonna rebuild the base afterwards probably, and head out to raid someone. Now there are some raids going on over towards this area as well. It's this time it's Nurik and IE going head to head. Last time around it was all that was right in between their aggression and got eliminated, but this time it's IE who have to face Nurik head on head.
Yeah, and there's some hell on the hill at the moment. Shots are coming in. Hey, defending this time. We did see them attack before, and shots coming in. Ohio's taken out there on the outside. He tried to sneak in the middle, but you know, Nurek, they are a bit pissed off that AE stole the. Well, then again, it was AE's raid, but AE ended up getting the TC, and Nurek were taken out of the equation. And Nurek's way of paying back their respects is by saying, "Thank you very much. You pissed us off. Now here's your base gone." Good way, good attack stance, especially. But so far, PP, Pete is sat at the top there, causing some damage, getting some kills off on the Nurek players. But so far, the base is getting taken bit by bit. It doesn't look like the cleanest of bases. It's a very interesting shape. And Nurek are sending shots after shots. And oh wow, it's a very close raid as well. They're right next to each other. They're best friends holding hands. And shots are coming from each person's roof defense and their roof shooting floors, you know. And each team are having a very big lot of fun with it. But it does seem like A's base is in a very much worse state at the moment, as they have got a lot of broken parts on one side. But you know, it does seem like a very interesting base design that I haven't really seen too much of before. Apart from, you know, typical doors, deal or no deal style, they've got an interesting bottom corners of their base.
Well, Nurik finally starting to make their way into the base this time around. A couple of kills do go their way, but PP. That's a lot of PPs, by the way. Tries to defend it, but has been tagged down to just 14 HP, hence needs to back off. And now more and more players of Nurik getting closer. Hence the PvP battle should commence real soon, but they're still taking down as many walls as they potentially can from the outside. Nurik, they're definitely gonna get closer if Big Noob continues to go on a streak just like that, and he's already on an 8 spree. But the Rockets continuing to pour, and hence allowing more openings for Nurik to work with.
Yeah, it is indeed. Shots, calm down. Go and calm and mellow for a second. I'm sure it will be changing in a second. But you know, scary stuff. Ooh, we have moved. Leonce, team we haven't seen at all yet. We did just see a sign of them, but oh, A and York still here. We're back to where we began, and shooting is still coming in. Shots still coming. York now looking to push into the base. Yeah, there we go. Straffy's made the first push, and they're in the base, ready to start attacking.
Longchamp does fall, but couldn't really do much damage before he actually did. There are quite a few players of IE in the back lines, no immediate resilience from them either, but I think they're trying to stack around the DC area and hence keeping it safe, at least for the time being, before they actually start to try and push Nurik out. But we're gonna have to wait and see how this one goes as more of IE players start to go towards the roof in order to deny Nurik's presence within the base. And for the time being, though, they have pushed them back. Solo needs to back off, and so does question mark. But Don Toxic starting to go behind them. Will manage to get one just before he gets taken out.
This one might be a short while, but it is interesting indeed to see where we are going here with this one. They're not really progressed too far in the base. They've just sent a lot of shots, and A maybe, you know, defended quite well, kept them out of the car, but Nyorik can't want to back down easily. It seems like Koff are coming from behind Nyorik here, maybe to make a couple of shots. That's what seems to be happening. Jamesy, Purplu, taking a little speak at this base. Only one player from Nyorik is home, one slightly outside the base, and the others to the left. Who is this? Is this AE? A seem to have. There was a couple of beds there, maybe trying to flank onto Nurik's base. Interesting push tactic, but I think it'll be Kof that they need to watch out for, not A. They are already in A's base. Kof coming from behind them without them really knowing, and they might just start lighting up the base like a candle and taking it to church.
Well, as you said, oh, actually, Kurfkov, they have actually gotten quite a bit closer to this one. On the other hand, Eknom, their strengths on the PvP battles continue to show as Doop manages to get eight kill streak, but Eknom has a massive lead for the moment. That's 292 points. That means even if IE manage to get a TC anytime soon, which seems very unlikely considering the fact that they are the ones that are getting raided for the time being, Eknom should be in a comfortable spot. And with the final 50 minutes of the raid phase going down, they might as well be the next target of the potential contender for the #1 spot. Because if the lead grows too big, the only way that they can win is if they take Eknom's DC out.
It is. Doors though. Doors, and more doors. There's certainly a lot of them. Certainly a lot of doors that aren't being taken down quick enough. And Doobies, Cuff, Purpley closing the door on that one. Witex is getting involved now as well. And Cuff might have a slight problem on the hands here, as they are going to be involved with some heavy battles, heavy shooting here. Cuff though, Gandalf's there, peeking his head around the corner. Looking to come for more PvP. Purple who also sat outside there, but will take a death eventually. And a lot of fighting is happening, but not a lot of movements are being made just yet. So it's going to be an interesting one to see where this one goes.
Well, Kof, they now have a problem of their own. As you said, they did intend on putting some extra pressure onto IE's base, but newbies have actually denied them that pleasure because now they have to
Again. Yeah, indeed. And A look to get some repairs in. More shots coming in from Yorick. But again, though, this could be one that takes forever. By forever, possibly forever, and just not happen at all. Or it might be a 30-minute job here to get into this base to take it down, because A are defending exceptionally well, getting the repairs up fast enough, getting the kills in. Doing exactly what they need to do to keep the other team out of their base at the moment. They are performing very, very well, and interestingly, keeping out the Nuric players who Nuric, top 2 in the last one earlier on today in the EU event. Probably the same players fielded in the NA. So they need to give it another good go and try their best here to take down this A team and keep their dominance at hold. But you never know. You never know.
Narek, they're not too far within the base just yet, but it seems like they should be soon enough because IE, it seems they have no idea where the current players are within, but they're still trying to find it out, especially PvP, a lot of PvPs, again, to say it out loud comfortably, but we're gonna have to wait and see how long they can actually hold on and how long it takes for Nirik to actually get the TC, or will IE be able to push them back? On the other hand, looking at the scoreboard though, Eknom, they're just continuing to grow with their lead. I'm not sure how they're managing to get so many PvP points. They're potentially engaged in a raid, I'm assuming, but still 317 points in just in a matter of the last like 5 minutes, coming from 290. I think that's a pretty good margin. But oh my god, 3 periods of Nirik already falling as Gongchamp from above takes him out, and oh, that's almost a bit of friendly fire there, but Nurik's player is actually going to ensure that he still manages to get the kill, even if their own teammates don't betray them.
I mean, you know, Yorick, they give it a good go at the start, but it's sort of fizzled out a bit at the moment, and Ohio is killed. Straffy gets himself back into the base, but it's going to be one again. It's not going to be one that's very quick. It will take quite a while, but here's another lovely raid that we're seeing. Possibly on CG. Idle, Eknom, Capybara. I mean, name a team that isn't in it's probably easier at this point. Every team's going to this base. Eknom pushing there from the north. Capybara as well coming in from the west. So, you know, interesting this base. So, give it 10 minutes and it'll be into nothingness. It seems every team is on this base at the moment. Idle, a team that currently are 11th. Eknom are very far ahead. So I'd say if Eknom can take this TC, then Eknom are going to run away with this event. If it's Kof, or no, Kof on here. Capybara, they're really too far behind to make much of a difference. CG, again, they're not really close to the top. So, well, then again, if Eknom can be raided, then, you know, anything can happen. Because Eknom are obviously the team that are most ahead. And if you take Eknom out of the equation, it does become quite close in that top 6, top 7. So, you never know. Things can happen. Crazy things especially. But it does seem at the moment like Eknom have a nice control and steady movement on this lead that they have. Which is about 52 points in between them and AE, who we did just see before, who are getting actually raided by Europe. So it'll be interesting. But still 43 minutes left to go, nevertheless. So, you know, still a lot of time for these teams to progress and get more points. Which team will do that though? That is the question.
Well, a question that shall be answered sooner or later, but we're gonna have to wait and find out until it does. CG currently going head to head against Capybara for this one. There's just a lot of presence within the base already, and Eknom roaming around the base as well, trying to just get some baby points. But so far, no entrance within the base as of now. But CG doing a good job of actually building the base simultaneously while defending it, and Capybara is sort of helping them out as the trade goes through a triplet. He knows that there's a player right around the corner, and well, he's chasing him, but on God, tagged down quite a lot. Should be able to stay alive at least for a little longer before he gets taken out. But CG now they're starting to push out a bit as well while the walls sort of get rebuilt. Capybara they're deep within at the same time, hence constantly destroying the structures that are being put up by CG.
Yeah, man, that is especially it. Currently, you know, having this many teams around your base is very overwhelming. But here's another one. SV again at it in a helicopter. Or they defended. Seems like they've defended this. Possibly. Defended it against that white who came for a raid. And the helicopter's finally landed on the roof. And we've just missed CG getting raided. And it was by Capybara, who will take the points and not Eknom. So that's a game changer right there. That's a game changer.
Indeed, Eknom, they had invested into this fight quite a bit, but still they managed to get away with quite a few BB points as well, so you can't really complain. They still hold a 50-point lead ahead of IE, hence an immediate DC from IE is not going to put them in the lead either. Eknom, they still have a small cushion to stay afloat on. So we'll have to wait and see how this one goes on later down the line as well. We were talking about this earlier as well. The team that stays on top for quite a long while, they sort of put a target on their back and should be expecting raid onto them by multiple teams later down the line. But for the time being, IE, it seems like they have held off in Nurik quite nicely. Actually, they have sort of rebuilt some walls as well, and for the time being, they're doing quite decently. And Toxic, he has Solar right next to him, but he's just not aware Solar. No, he has no weapons to work with. Might just try to make it into a fist fight as Toxic is down to 9 HP, but never mind. He still managed to clear that one out.
Yeah. It's going to be a long day for A though, because if A can't really return fire and turn the tables round onto Nyorik, then they'll be sat defending for the rest of the event, which could. They're sat defending for the rest of the event, yeah, which could give them the points to go above Eknom if they get the kills. So interesting.
Well, Nurk, they're just not giving up onto this one, i.e., they have held off quite nicely, but Messi is also getting involved from the back lines. You can see two of their players have fallen, but there are three more present, including Rush, Felly, and Demo. So you're gonna have to wait and see how a double team pressure gets handled by IE. As Lyric, they have sort of slowed down their push onto IE's base, but if they figure out that Messi is getting involved as well, they might reinvest into this one again in order to potentially take advantage of Messi's presence in IE's base.
Yeah. So we are reaching now 40 minutes or 39 minutes to be precise remaining. So what we need to see really here is a fight back. But here comes Messi. Interesting one there. Wouldn't expect Messi to come in and get involved in this action. But they have. And they're starting to fire in the rockets heavily. Messi are 13th. Been a quite a disappointing event so far for them. They haven't really been pushing the top dogs at all in this one. But you know, they've survived. And there's only 13 teams remaining. So it will be interesting to see if any more go. I do believe it'll be under 10 myself by the end of the event, but you never know what will happen.
Well, they're doing quite a nice job, and slowly actually they've taken the lead, the 50-point lead, and thrown it out the window for the time being. They've closed it down to less than 4.
York are in the base actually now, which is exciting to see. York have actually made it into the base, or onto the base, or maybe that's just, yeah, they're in the base. It looks like they're in the base, but Messi are also now pushing in, and they're coming heavily. So A's downfall might be the fact that they've got two teams raiding from either side. And here come Nyorik onto the roof. Oh no, this could be terrible for AE if Nyorik can get the kills, but Nyorik doesn't seem like they've got them all. They've downed the players, they've killed them. Nyorik has wiped out that roof completely. Messi though pushing from the other side. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. There's a turret there. There's a downed Nyorik player, Within. Looks like he's going to be left to die there. A coming up and getting kills off the roof. Nyorik are coming back to clear them out. But A, you know, they're very good at PvP. Within is the last one standing there for Nyorik, and he's killed too. I think the turret got him in the end. But Messi, they're not holding back, and this base is starting to open up even further than it has been before. Shots are coming in left, right, and centre. They will be en route to finding the TC anytime soon. Here come more, boom, more rockets, sending it right at the base, trying to break into the inner core at the moment. And here you go, we are in. And now it's just a case of opening doors. A have a lot of loot though, and they have a lot of wit about them. They do not want to go easily, and they will make sure that it won't be an easy road. Oh, and that was a very interesting peek up. And is Blood downed? Is he alive? He's downed. Blood there got downed from the peek he just did over the top. But you know, Messi are really not holding back on these rockets. They are going home with the rockets. They're sending them straight into the middle of this base, taking out every single thing. They're just thinking now, okay, 35 minutes left. Not really got a shout at winning this event. Let's just send Boom in and cause some shit up at the top. And that's what they're doing. They're sending the rockets at A. And so far, they're doing a very good job of it. What do you think is going to happen here then, Inflict?
Well, we're gonna have to wait and find out. Nurk, they're trying to hold Messi off for the time being, but at the same time, Messi has allowed Nurk to actually get into the base. I.e., they're trying to struggle here quite a lot. Actually, Nurk already controlled the rooftop of this base, and Messi still doing the same thing that they were doing against Fade, where they were just putting in rockets again and again, and sort of they helped Eknom in order to get more control of Fade's base. This is exactly the same story being repeated. This time, the characters are just IE and Nurek. Nurek, total control of the rooftop. They're starting to slowly make their way into the deeper ends of the base as well. While Messi, they are just dealing damage from afar, but Messi have to realize that they need to enter the base themselves. Otherwise, they're just allowing and helping another team take another DC for free.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing to also consider that Messi's gone out of their base. Capybara might fancy a chance at Messi's base whilst they're out. Messi's base is round the corner from Capybara, so it could be a shout to go for that raid. Capybara, you know, it's not an impossible task for them to get into the top, but they can make it. And here's HE and Leonce. Leonce, a team we commented on before, haven't really been in the action much at all. But no, Capybara haven't gone for the raid yet. Maybe they don't know, maybe they haven't realised, maybe they haven't turned on their thinking caps the right way round. Nevertheless, this is a very messy looking base. Nurek on the top, Messi shooting in, and two teams are taking down A slowly but surely.
Still, it's pretty much the same storyline, but the presence of Nurk has been reduced quite a lot as the Rockets did slow down at least for a little while, but Messi, they're restocked now. Again, more of them are raining in, and the PvP fights going the way of Nurk, at least for the time being. Back and forth trades going down, and Messi slowly starting to make their way closer towards the base, but Nurk taking full advantage of the control that they have over the rooftop and just keeping Messi at bay. And I think that's a really smart strategy. You're letting some of your players hold the rooftop, although they have fallen as well, but i.e. they have countered that with some presence of their own this time, and Messi, they finally found an entrance into the base.
It's a very big entrance as well. They did make a big hole and a lot of noise. Here's Nurek though, still pushing into the base. It's going to be a Messi versus Nurek race to the TC now. But you know, there's not much hope left for them. And there's a bloodbath going on the roof as well. Yep, this is a bloodbath. Nurek, Messi, and they're fighting each other on A's base. And now Messi are going to be looking to get this raid, get themselves higher up the table, make a bit of noise really and say, hey, we're still here guys, we're still playing, I know we've done fuck all, but we're still here. And, you know, wave at everyone. But, you know, they've just been unlucky. They have been at the raids, they just haven't been able to succeed with the raids and take it all the way. They've been countered and killed off by Eknom, you know, by bigger sides. So, you know, they've been there, they have been shouting out, but they haven't managed to take the actual TC. And maybe now they have the chance to do that. But if it gets stolen by Nurek, it will be, you know, the same old story. But only time will tell. Oh, another raid spot on the map.
Well,
Nice to
Rollins. Oh, this time it's SV going against HE. Lawrence and HE was a very old battle going on earlier as well, but this time it's HV that are getting SV that are getting involved. They're right down at the 15th number and on the scoreboard, so they definitely need to do something to show that they're really present in the game. The same scenario as Messi, you could argue, but one thing that I would like to mention is that Messi have actually taken over that raid completely from Nurek. Nurek, in the later ends, while we moved away from that, they almost had no presence within the base, while Messi actually had total control of the rooftop, including some players that were taking constant fights against IE and winning them. But moving on, Lawrence, they're actually heading right back into this fight as well, and hence it's going to be two teams that pressurized HE, Lawrence and SV. So HE, they did a decent job at holding Lawrence off, but we're gonna have to wait and see how they do when SV is involved in the equation as well.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be a raid that won't cause too much upset. SV sat in 14th. They are nowhere near the top at the moment. Unless they manage to shock the world and perform something that I don't think a team's done before, that's where they will pretty much end off the game in that the bottom set of the lot. But you know, they've been there again. They've been a very noisy team. We've seen SV coming with a lot of raids, and now it seems like Leonts are coming in as well. Now as they've got a bit more time, and you know what, Leonts have came back as well, and maybe it's just the case. Oh, Messi do take out A. They did shout about that they were here, and TC was found there. I mean, it was pretty much a written rule that was happening, but you know, oops a daisies, they're gone, and we weren't there to see it. Shame.
That's yeah. Oh,
Same old.
same old indeed. But Lawrence actually, they have actually taken over the raid from SV this time around. They were the ones that initiated it against HE, and SV were the ones that got involved later down the line. But Lawrence, they've ensured that their presence is right back to where this raid began off. SV, they do have their beds close by, hence they're gonna have immediate backup onto this one. And they don't really have to worry too much about their base either, because it was on like the higher ends of the map where there wasn't really too much presence. So it should be fine for the time being. Lawrence, though, their base is really close by as well, so they can just reinvest as many rockets as they constantly want to. Hence, this is not looking too great for AG, considering that Lawrence and SV, they don't really have too much to lose if they continue to push this one even for longer periods of time.
Yeah, what I will say though, oh wow, SV have just pulled up in a rocket. No, not a rocket, in a helicopter, which came in like a rocket and just went bang, and out come all the SV players. Here we go, more boom coming in. Idle sending it in this time onto Newbies. And they did a very good job so far. Newbies, I don't know whether they've realised that they're getting shot at, but their base is about to be split in half, so it would be a good time to notice.
That's a lot of early gaps to begin with the Rockets. Newbies, they have definitely realized it at this point, but I'm not sure what their intentions are. They haven't really reacted immediately, but Galen from the right side is trying to set up a flank, and it's actually Koff from the other end as well. They're trying to get closer to Newbies' base right here. So Newbies, they are in somewhat of a difficult scenario. There's a helicopter moving across as well. I'm not sure if they're going to turn this way, but Newbies, they already have too much on their plate to work with, and behind those C4s, the wall should fall eventually, and there goes. Hence, Koff, they have found themselves an entrance before Idle. Now, Idle is another team that had stayed silent for quite a little while in this tournament, but Newbies is a pretty big target, considering the fact that they are the fourth team for the time being at the very least. So if they manage to take this one down, it will be pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, the base is definitely flying down. 27 minutes to take it down completely though. Might be too little time here for them, but now it does seem, if we look at the leaderboard, Econom have taken away with it, and the only way now for Koff to get in there is to take out Econom. So I wonder if that's what they're going to try and do. If Koff are going to go for Econom, if they're going to go strategic, or if they're just going to stay and play safe and play for second. It'll be interesting to see what choice they make.
Newbies, they started to push through actually their base and just ensuring that Koff stay at bay, but so far they haven't really been successful. Koff, they have found a really minor gap, and as soon as they get their chance, they're putting some C4s in, while Purple is trying to ensure that their players remain safe from the flank and taking down two players actually. Some nice PvP going down on their way, but Idle still throwing down rockets from afar, and eventually when they do decide to get in closer, They are gonna have such a great entrance to work with already that they are gonna get put into a disadvantageous position. So they need to start running into this quicker as well. They are currently the third position team, right behind HE, with the difference of only 3 points. But either of these teams, if they want to ensure that they win either against Ektom, they have to secure TCs, and they need to do it quickly, considering the fact that there's only 25 minutes left on the clock.
Base getting blown up though, very well. There's a lot of damage done there. Not a lot is alive yet left in this base to say, okay, yeah, we've got a nice base going on here. It's nowhere near. It's crazy. I'm not quite sure to say to explain what's going on right now.
Well, Idle, surprisingly still, even though they're so far into the space, they've basically split this one in half. They still haven't opened up a wall actually, and it's quite possibly because newbies are actually pressurizing them quite nicely here. That's 4 or 3 players of newbies that are pushed out. 2 of them have already fallen. Actually, scratch that, it's all 3 of them, but there's still one more lurking around, trying to ensure that there isn't much going on. But Ukraine Warrior alongside K, holding off Kovkov on the other side as well. And I think that's a pretty great defense from their side, although it hasn't completely the aggression hasn't completely faded away, but they've ensured that there's no one even a mile close.
Yeah, I mean, again, we see Leonce try and take down HE. Another raid that's been going on for just a little bit of time here. Leonce though, maybe now moving into the end factors, but it's only 1 player of Leonce and 5, 6 players of HE, so it does seem like HE might have successfully defended this one. Although their base is not looking the best, it's looking a bit worse for wear. Most of the doors on the outside and the outsides of the base, it's looking good, but Leonce is just chilling in the middle. And probably more backup ready to come. Taking out Chris there, maybe. Taking out more. And eventually he tries to sneak past. And he gets killed. But again, that white though, they're pushing over now as the hell he's landed. So it'll be interesting to see if they want to come and take this one completely out of their hands and rise above the situation. Be great to see if they can do it.
Well, HE announced that fight has been going on for quite a while, but that fight might just be the catalyst that they needed in this reaction to fasten up the either the defense or the TC. Might be some third-party fights that allow HE to take advantage of the battle between that white and allowance to hold off the aggression, or maybe that white and allowance work together and attack just from separate areas and doesn't really care about the other team attacking and just race their way through towards the TC, which is sort of a gamble, but we're gonna have to wait and see how that one goes. Of course, another helicopter moving close by. I'm not sure if they're gonna turn this way though, but that's actually a player of Lawrence. I'm not sure where he's headed, but near Eric's base, they have 1 player present in case they need to defend. But another fight that has been going on for quite a while is
Been going on a while. I'll give you that. I'm not quite sure what's going on though. Newbies have been obliterated out in the middle. And their base is not looking the best. So, but then again, cough cough. They're pushed back a little bit. Maybe they're retreating for some specific reason, or maybe not. But Idle getting taken out there. Gelling, a player we've seen quite previously. Witex as well. So newbies are not an easy side to take down. But again, though, Idle, we've got players like Zhao, who we've seen, One Scott, who we've seen before. It's interesting. 2 teams of players. 2 very strong teams, especially Idle. They're just running right past newbies and not getting killed. But eventually, Jalen's there, who gets killed from where? Where's that?
oh, when did that happen? That was a very quick raid. We didn't even see it on the minimap earlier on, but
They've got
GG
raided
get
whilst they went home. Wow.
well. I guess Ped isn't the only psychic that we have in the tournament today.
Hmm.
GG. Although they're still right at the bottom of the scoreboard, a very efficient raid, I must add. But 20 minutes on the clock, I'm not really sure if they can do too much to climb the scoreboard. But Eknom, they've moved past the 400 points. So at this point, I guess if you're AG or newbies or Kofkov, since you're all so close next to each other in terms of your scores, you might start to think that we need to target Eknom. Otherwise, it's the game is pretty much just done and dusted for them. The chances of you getting 2 TCs in like 20 minutes are very slim.
Yeah,
This this could be karma for GG.
could be. Messi are all there. They're about to get down with the boys, get messy. They're getting the walls built up. They're going to place the beds now, I assume, as they get the structures on the floor. Yeah. I don't know who they're building against because no one's home. There's no one there from GG at the moment. And they're taking a very sneaky approach. I wonder how long it's going to take them to realise no one's there for GG. They need to start shooting soon. Or GG. This is critical stuff. How's he died? Oh my word.
What is going on?
Okay, they're trying to cut through. Nearly killed himself in the process. There
Well,
you go. They finally gone, you
there's
know what? Fuck this. Stop playing it safe. Let's go! And there you go, bombs coming in.
well, if you have only 18 minutes on the clock, there's only so many choices that you have, and being sneaky might not be their best ones. GG, they need to retreat soon, otherwise, it could be the karma hitting them immediately after they take that white space. And if that is the case, that must suck for them because finally they have an efficient raid, and as soon as they do, they will get taken out. And I'm not sure if they're going to realize this sooner or later, but they need to back off. And there's one pair I see coming back, and there's more that follow. So GG finally have some presence to defend it, but the rockets are starting to come in, but the base already has been infiltrated as well.
They came back quite quickly then, to be fair. They must have knew something was up. They just pinged themselves back ASAP, and now they're back to get some shots off against Link, it seems, down there. But rockets are still coming in nevertheless. I think it's the turret that's shooting at Link actually, and Link takes down King of Joker. And here we go, Messi are just going right through the middle again. Same place where we've seen them get raided from previously here for GG. And they were saved last time by a raid on Biggest, was it? I believe it was Biggest.
I think so as well.
So yeah, so, you know, this could be the end. And what a C4 that will be.
GG's history in this tournament has been quite weird, I must say, because GG, when they were getting raided by Biggest was all out on offense against them, and they left their base and they somehow got eliminated. The only TC that GG have taken was an FK base pretty much of that white. No one was close by to defend it, and hence a free TC for them as well. But Messi, they had almost a free base as well if they did manage to get through sneakily, but sadly they did fail that. But GG, finally, they have some presence to defend it, but it seems like it's a bit too late for them to actually do so because there are just too many players of Messi within, and they're absolutely having no troubles constantly breaching through walls.
Yeah. Interesting is what it is. What I'm witnessing in front of my eyes at the moment. I'm not quite sure what the fuck's going on with this base. Very interesting to see. Different design to what I usually see. Give it that. No deal or no deal, just a core in the middle. And maybe soon we'll start to see the TC exposed. Still though, not to be seen yet. Trapdoor here, could possibly be below. Although that'd be a disappointing place to find the TC to put it, but what can you say? GG though aren't really defending it at all. They're just not here. Now it's the case of exploring everywhere. Everywhere in that base to get your rockets in, get your C4s in, and find in the end the final place where you need to be, which is the TC. Take that home, get 40 points on the road.
Spanning across.
Put them up to 7th if they can get some kill points with it as well, but that's maybe where they will end. So interesting stuff.
Well, we're pretty much in the end game of the tournament at this point, with only 15 minutes on the clock. Eknom, they're still sitting pretty comfortably in, on all-out raid. Their base, I believe, isn't getting raided at least
For the past 300.
But newbies against Idol and Kof. This has been going on for quite a while, and still, you have to give the props to newbies for holding on for such a long time, especially after the base has been demolished quite a bit. But on the other hand, it's actually Nurik that are putting pressure onto Kof, hence forcing them to back off of newbies back.
Well, it's interesting to see how teams have jumped in points. For example, HG, 354 points now, and that's just from defending, really. And newbies as well, 343 from defending. Kof's more from attacking, but I don't think they've got many raids. So it's interesting to see how the kills are racking up the points and the defenses as well. Shots coming in left, right, and centre. Gee whiz, that's a lot of shots coming in. Double fire there. Nurik now being taken out by Elite. Beds will be destroyed. Kof maybe defended successfully against Nurik this time. As one Nurik member remains, who now will take the death. And I think it's 11 teams left now. 11 teams left in the event. GG though. Still staying there at the last spot. Strong at the 11th spot, but they do look like they were about to be taken from us before our eyes, so interesting one there.
They're still holding on. Well, their base hasn't been really damaged too much because HE they're the team that have been on the defense for quite a while there. And finally, they've managed to get out at least for a little while and attack Lance's base this time around. The wooden walls have been infiltrated already of Lance's, but no one of HE close by. Lance have done a decent job at pushing them away, at least for the time being, though. From there was a small flank that's being set up from Lawrence, although it hasn't been too successful to completely eliminate the presence of HE, but it did slow down the frequency of the attacks that HE were doing. Hence, the amount of rockets being launched at Lance's base is pretty low as well. So the chances are Lawrence will be able to hold on to their base and TC as the game comes to a conclusion.
Yeah, 10 minutes to conclude the game completely. I wonder where it will see us end. I mean, you know, teams have been playing great today. Got to give it to them again. Always making this event lovely. HE and Newbies, the two teams that can catch up now to Eknom, but a TC is needed for either of the teams to get there, really.
Oh, there's another raid going on right here. It's going to be GG. SW getting involved into the mix here as well, and alongside Messi. SW, they've tried to third party a lot of raids, but haven't really been too successful with most of them. They did manage to secure some PvP points off of that, but no TC is secured. This might be the place where they change it, but Messi they've shown their prowess and getting control of bases early on, even if they're attacking it from afar. But this time around, they went straight head into it. And so far, they have dealt a decent amount of damage, but not enough progress to be able to find the TC just yet. But with 10 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, they need to ensure that they do it early. And Eknom, I think with AG only down about 40 points, if AG actually managed to take Allowance's DC, that would be a really big upset in my opinion. But Eknom, on the other hand, they were out on a raid as well, so we're gonna have to wait and see if they can counter AG's aggression on Allowance as well. Otherwise, it's the final 10 minutes. The success rate of raids in only 10 minutes is actually very low, so we might be seeing a pretty sealed up scoreboard right here.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to go on forever, it seems. Maybe until the very end. Maybe no one's going to find the TC of GG. And maybe that's why the name is GG. As long as they end on the board, they're happy. So, interesting to see. But, you know, nevertheless, SV turned up, trying to get themselves some points to the table as well. Throw themselves up higher. But, you know, 11 teams left. My prediction still stands. I do want under 10 teams by the end of this event.
SV, they did have some presence, but they're probably one of the slowest teams to make progress within anyone's base right here. Messi, on the other hand, they've done quite a bit of damage, but again, no DC just yet, and I'm not sure, but I don't see any GG players, except like a couple of them. So there's like no immediate PvP battles going on, at least for the time being. And Messi, they're just getting these walls taken down for free with absolutely no resistance whatsoever. But on the other hand, AG, they're still putting up numbers in those PvP battles with Chris going on an 8 streak against Allowance. And if they continue to do so with such a pace, they might get close to Eknom, but they need to ensure that they have something that gives them multiple amounts of points to put them on the board as well. The the difference has been brought down to below 30 points, so the frequency of kills is actually pretty great from HE. But Eknom, they have slowed down on the similar end as well. This is going to get closer, it seems.
Yeah, it's going to get very close. I mean, it comes down to the team that'll be able to take this TC. 427, HE 399. HE need a raid in the last 8 minutes to give them the opportunity to get to where they need to be, to the top. You know, can you see it happening?
Well, again, AG are getting kills left and right at a very good pace, and if we still have like 7 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, and Eknom, they have slowed down quite a bit. I think HE can overtake them. I think so, it can happen, but I'm not sure if it will. But the possibility, I think, is pretty high.
Yeah. That's a very heavily reinforced base there that we see right in front of us. I mean, it's Economs, obviously, it's reinforced. Those guys are top and they don't look like losing it. Although, you know, it is likely that they could. But, you know, 7 minutes left. This is just about teams having game management, seeing this one out. Obviously for Econom as well, they just want to get rid of this. They want to see the game completely to bed, and they'll do anything they can to get there. But they look like they might go out for one last little push on Capybara and maybe try and take them out. But you know, really good performance from Econom. You know, they came in, they've performed exceptionally well, and you know, they're top of the leaderboard, and it looks like they could be holding that off completely. But raids are starting to come in thick and fast now.
Only 6 minutes on the clock here. 11 teams still alive in this battle, and AG still building up their points just off of PvP and getting closer and closer to Eknom momentarily. But Eknom, they're starting to pick up their pace as well. It's not too much, but it might just be enough to keep them afloat. 6 minutes at this point, I think you start to possibly give up on DCs unless you're already like heavily invested into them. Because new raids, they're definitely not gonna work out unless you get really lucky like GG did against that quite early on. But Eknom and newbies. Actually, newbies have come into the competition as well. HE are only 1 point ahead of them, so this has gotten a lot more close than I was expecting. But Eknom, they get a bonus 10 points to work with, and hence their lead has gone further beyond HE up to 413. But with only 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, I think that little boost that Eknom got right there might have been enough to put them across the finish line.
Hopefully for them indeed. But, 5 minutes left, still time on the clock to do something. And we have Capybara and Eknom inside their base, it seems. Eknom just going to go and try and finish the game off. But everybody will be trying to finish Eknom off and take them out. GG finally eliminated by Messi. It took a long time considering their base had turned into mash, but there you go. A raid that was ought to happen eventually has finally happened. There you have it. Messi take the raid.
And SV, once again, they're nowhere to be found around here. They've tried third-partying so many raids, but eventually they just give up quite a bit too easily. I'm not sure if it's the lack of resources for them or what exactly the deal is, but they've just tried to be a nuisance for a lot of the teams that are defending and eventually just straight up give up on the raids totally. Now, we can see they are present in a helicopter, possibly trying to head to another raid and make some more trouble for the defending team. And if they actually head to Eknom, that could really be pretty great for HE or newbies, considering the fact that there's only 4 minutes left and
They come in the air, flying onto this base here right now. SV, they've just seen Capybara and gone, fuck that. Turned away straight away. But it's very solid bases, very, very solid teams. Again, as we say week in, week out, they played exceptionally well. Here we have Idle's base. Oh, and SV are looking to go to Idle, whilst Idle aren't home. Maybe. No, never mind. Forget I said that. They're going to go to newbies instead. And take out newbies. Interesting.
well, off SV landing straight onto the rooftop, already losing 5 of their players actually, and that did not go so well as they had probably planned. Newbies, yeah, that was absolutely terrible from SV. All of them just get eliminated except Wack, who's alive somehow. But if Case spots him and has a weapon, he gets a weapon eventually, maybe he takes him out eventually. But Rag, I'm not sure if he was intentionally targeting the wall or just was trying to hit somebody in the face. But well, he gets taken out as well, and hence SV once again they tried raiding someone and miserably failed. But on the other hand, newbies. Again, this fight has been going on for so long. I'm surprised newbies have held on, and now with only 2 minutes on the clock, I think they're gonna be able to hold on to this unless cough they really have something new in up their sleeve.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what's so amazing about this event. 2 minutes left, and we are still here on the wire. HE need to get 30 points to win it. Newbies are also right there, neck and neck with H&E, but it does seem like Eknom are going to keep running away with it, and it seems like Eknom, unless they are raided, will be taking this event. But here we are, Newbies and Cough, fighting it outside. It's like a little missay there, but there you go. Jamesy's taken it out. Newbies getting the kill there, but Newbies again, as you said before, exceptional performance, keeping themselves in the event. Doing a great job of it as well. No problems for them. So, it's been a very, very close event all around. Here we are at 1 minute and 22 seconds remaining. How amazing.
Very amazing indeed. And well, Messi on to another base trade within the final minute of the game. The base is pretty much free, and actually Lawrence, they're starting to spawn right back into this one. Uh, they were fighting off against AG earlier on, but they held off pretty nicely. But now it's a possibly a better opponent. AG, they are higher on the scoreboard, but we've seen a better success rate of Messi against these in raids, of course, than we've seen from AG. But if you're newbies in AG with only 40 seconds on the clock, you're just hoping that Capybara managed to take Eknom's DC away in the final few moments. Otherwise, this is basically a done deal for Eknom.
It is. 24 seconds though. It does seem like, yeah, Eknom, unless they get raided or some miracle happens for newbies, then yeah, Eknom will be taking this event. 30 points still in it. Eknom have done great all throughout, and they have kept it going until now. 5 seconds remaining, and Eknom will be probably, unless a very fast update comes, your victors today in the NA event.
Well, you have to give it to Eknom. You know, most of the times when a team is on a massive lead early on, they get raided and their TC gets taken away, and hence they don't retain their number one spot, of course. But Eknom, they started off a bit mediocre-ish in the attack phase, but as soon as the raid phase begun, they kept on their lead. They As soon as they took it, they never let it go, and till the end, even when they had to defend their base against Capoeira, who are a pretty good raiding team, they still held on to it. The base was pretty stellar as well. So props to them for winning this one out, and also newbies and AG. Both these newbies, we did expect them to pop off a little bit, but AG, they sort of came out of nowhere and took the third spot away with them.
They did, yeah. And if you look at the top spots, Eknom had a lot of points as well. They ran away with it towards the end. You know, the points updated in favour for them. Nearly 40 points. But, you know, they had it the whole time. They kept it well close to them the game. And they took it very, very well. The kills, the raids. Very well played to them, though. They did a great job today, and they've made themselves proud. The team I've not seen the name of familiar. Some players do ring a bell, but not the name. So, getting themselves a win is always good.
Well, indeed, looking at the stats for newbies, they defended against 4 raids. We saw how long their defense against Idol and Kof went on for. Their kills are a pretty good amount, I must add. The 397. That's like most of their points that where they came from. Structures destroyed 60, which sort of tells that they didn't really invest much into their raids either, but Delgert 72 kills, Gellin 71, Whitex 63. Those are some fantastic numbers, and I think to have in base invaders for kills alone.
Yeah, it is. It is exceptional to see. But, you know, you got to give credit to them. 10 teams remaining, though, in the end. Always good to see. HE, though, obviously they're 317 kills, 280. Positive KDs are always seen in the top 5, usually. They usually do the best. But HE, 317 kills, 280 deaths, and 10 raid defenses. That's what give them the points to get up there. Those raid defenses really help them out. But very well played to HE. Very good event for them, especially the era.
Yeah,
Popcorn.
and today has been another absolutely banger of a day. You know, close matches throughout the teams. Well, even in the final 10 minutes, it seemed like it could be anyone's game among AG newbies and Eknom. The past few weeks have been absolutely great in terms of how close the competition has been and how we've seen some ridiculous stuff throughout, such as the GG attack onto that white, including as well. So pretty impressive stuff across the board. Any final words, Bet, that you have before we shut ourselves down for the night?
Well, just very, very well played to all the teams to make it a very, very fun event to watch. Very good for me to cast. I think I'd like to end it off on a couple of thank yous. Thank you to Gigi for doing the production work, Kaz for the observing there behind the scenes on the camera work, and Inflict obviously for being here with me. Had to come in last minute. Great to have you here. Great, and well, the last big thank you to everybody that came by and watched, the people who stuck with us through the entire event. Thank you very much. It means a lot. I've been Ped. That's been Inflict, and we will see you very, very soon.